Okay, so this is the video for Python variables. So this is the second assignment this week for the people at home that are actually trying to keep up with what's going on. And you know what? I can honestly tell you, the ones that are home, I'm just trying to encourage you to do the best you can. I know we're all getting pretty tired and everything, but we still have a lot of time left before the year is over. We have one. Let's see. Next week we'll have one, two, three, 4, 5 weeks left total. And so that's still 25 days of learning. And I know the last couple of days won't be that much learning going on, but the thing is, it's like you still have at least 18 days. Um, and you cut that in half because most of the time I don't have you guys every day. So you're talking about nine, maybe 10 sessions left. And every day, if we learn a little bit, you'll learn some more coding. So just try to stick with it. I know some of you guys are tired, but let's just let's try to finish strong. Okay, well, enough with the motivation. Let's go ahead and get into this. So modules. um, I'm looking at Python variables, and if you're late with the assignment, just go ahead and like I said, share it with me, share the document. That way I can get it graded, and it'll go easy. Don't worry. So as you can see, the same pattern as last time. I said we go to web page. I'll try to make it like this all the time. All you do is hit it. It'll hyperlink to the section that we're working in. So today we're working in Python variables. Then you open up your document. Of course, very first thing you should do as soon as it opens up is make a copy of it so you can change it. I think that's one of the things that happened to me since I'm the one that created it. Whenever I make a change, it kind of messes it up. So I'm going to go ahead and right now make a copy. If it'll cooperate, sorry. Make a copy of it. Click it. Remember, copying is not such a big deal because it's kept on your the Google Drive, and I mean it's still turned in the same way. So, anyways, so what we're going to do is the very first thing is today we're going to see how variables are used in Python. Unlike other languages you have learned, Python makes variables simpler to use. You're required to complete the code and screenshot the results. So, as I said before, if you kind of follow along, just kind of go around here, just kind of scroll down slowly, you'll see. And I mean, you can also split the screen too, like we did on the last video. Um, you'll see that I'm working on the very first thing I came across, which is x equals 5, y equals John, print x, print y. So eventually I'm going to hit this button. It's going to bring up the compiler, and this is what we're going to run. Now you can see by it running already that it's what it is. So variables are basically um, you know little values we give to it, and then they can be printed out. So on this activity, if you notice, I'm going to try to start making this here at the bottom too, where it says code change, and that means that whatever that is, you need to pay attention to what I'm wanting you to change and what it needs to be when you're finished. So I'm going to say code is 9, or the very first variable is 9, and the second one is your name. Remember, don't put in your name. Actually, type in your name. Your actual name, or your last name or whatever. It's not type in your name. Um, if you notice, it's kind of italicized because I'm trying to tell you it's kind of not exact. You can put something else in there. Then I punch run, and when this thing comes through, it should be 9 in my last name. And so that means I've finished the first exercise. So then I shift control the button above the 6, and I'm still not sure what the button is called, but that's what I'm calling it. Uh, I select it. I come down here. Well, I got to copy the clipboard. Don't forget that because sometimes that'll disappear. Control V, and bang, I'm finished number 1. And just by that, I can see when I'm grading it. Oh yeah, they did change it to 9. They did change their name. Um, the next activity will be, and like since you have a video, you actually can pause the video, so it's not such a big deal. But if you notice, okay, so I'm already done with that one. So I scroll down. So it says something about quotation mark, and I'm going to try to keep this the same so you don't get confused. Now, casting. That was right after the very first thing we worked on. So that means that maybe I skipped it. And get this type, probably skip that too. And if you look right here, it says you will learn more about data types and casting later. So that means, you know what? I'm going to wait because I want to explain it all at one time. So single and double quotations. String variables can be declared either by using single or double quotes. And if you take a look at it, it looks exactly. I mean, this one I don't know why mine shows up like this, but this is the thing that I copy and pasted. But this is what it is, and it's almost the exact same thing. So I punch "try it yourself," and remember, every time you open a "try it yourself," a new tab is going to open. So make sure to close some of these things. Ooh, yeah, that's right. So it says right here, code change X John to your name. Use double quotes, and then X your name. Use single quotes. So basically, it's the same X, same variable, but you got to remember, by me doing this and then printing it out, we've allowed the computer to change this value of X to this and then print it out again. So if I really wanted to test it, what I could do is, and this is just to show you that a variable can be changed. So I'm going to put that right there. And of course, it says right there, change it to your last name. So I'm going to do that too before I get sidetracked because you know how I am. Change John to Winslow. And this comment says double quotations are the same as single quotations. So I'm going to click it and should show Winslow and then Winslow A. And so that kind of shows you that the X does change right here. So then I'm going to do a shift and control and the button above the 6, and I'm going to get the whole thing, and then I'm going to paste it right here. Control V, and then that takes care of that one. So now we're going on to case sensitive. Remember, you can pause the video. Don't try to do it all at once. So then I'm going to go right here. I'm going to look down. Oh, yeah, there it is, case sensitive. Now it says variable names are case sensitive, which means that you notice on the A that you have 4 and then your capital A is Sally. So that means A, as the comment says, capital A will not override the lowercase a. But let's try it. And we're going to do some code changes right here. You can see the little highlighted thing that I just put across. So what I need to do is change the 4 to 2021. That's the first thing. Then I have to change Sally to my name. So I'm going to type that in. And remember, if you make a mistake, well, let's run this one first and I'll talk about this. So what's going to happen is it should be 2021, and then my last name. If you make a mistake, like you leave a quotation mark off, you're going to get an error and it's going to be a big error. So you got to kind of look at it. Well, where is it telling me it's making a mistake? Oh, it says A. If you look right here, this piece right here, it'll tell you where the mistake is. Something's missing. And what it's telling you is that this is missing, your quotation. Now, if I forget a parenthesis, it'll go through this and say, oh, nothing's wrong. But right here, it's saying that above the print because it's still trying to it's still trying to print this, but it needs a parenthesis. And the reason it's still trying to print it is it's using this one and thinking that this is all part of the print. So in other words, it opened and this is the closing on this side, this piece where I'm hovering over, and it thinks that all this needs to be part of the variable, and it's not. So once I punch run, it should work correctly. And then I'll take a screenshot. So shift control button above the 6, and I'll stop saying that as soon as you guys get used to it. Then I'm going to go right here and I'm going to control V and paste it. Now variable names. Variable names, and let me go ahead and close these two tabs right here, the ones that I already worked with. Variable names. Well, it doesn't show up here. So that means I'm probably on the next page. So let me go ahead and hit next and be patient because sometimes it doesn't automatically pop up. But if you want to, you can click it one more time just to make sure. Variable names. So that kind of corresponds. And I'll try to keep this more with this so that way you don't get confused. A variable name, and this is all the rules. Variable names can have short names like X and Y, or more descriptive names like age, car name, total, um, underscore volume. Rules for Python variables. A variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. If you don't know what an underscore is, that what it is right here? I'm pointing to it with my mouse. I don't know if you see it or not, but and then a variable name cannot start with a number. So if you see something like this where it has a two at the beginning, that's not going to work. Okay. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So it can have anything with the alphabet, anything with numbers, and an underscore, but it can't have backslashes, forward slashes, or minus signs. Now remember, the minus sign is a math symbol, so the computer will think you're trying to do math. Is what you're trying to do. Variable names are case sensitive, so if you do all lowercase age, it's a different variable than an uppercase age, and if you mix them, it's still another variable. So there's three different variables right there. So let me scroll down a little bit. This is where we are right now. We're going to be changing all of the Johns to your name. So I'm going to go to try it yourself. And remember, the best thing to do is what? Copy and paste. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to double click, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control. Oop. Well, if that happens, you can just delete some stuff. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Double click the word. Control V. Double click. Control V, and run it. And there it is. And of course, we're going to do a shift control, the little button above the six, and make sure you get the whole thing in like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be huge, just enough so that I can look at it and say, oh yeah, they did it. Control V. There's that piece. Now we're on number 5. Now this is where this one's going to be a little tricky. Let me scroll down, and we're talking about camel case, which is this one right here, and it's called camel case because you notice it's a uppercase and an uppercase. It's almost like a hump on a camel. Pascal case, which has a um, capital, capital, capital. In other words, where the words start this capital. And I don't really know why they call it Pascal, but maybe one of you guys can figure it out. The last one is a snake case, where you have a little link between it, almost like a snake can move. And and this one, if you had this all tied together, like it was in, like let's just say it was like I don't know, like flexible words, you can actually move the little strip up and down, and you'll see how it moves like a snake. So um yeah, we're going to be typing this in. So right here on this one, it says go to this link. So I'm going to actually click the link to open it. Sorry, it's taking a little while longer than I thought it would be. Remember, I'm putting it up here, but really we're still kind of working with this too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this compiler, and then I'm going to delete whatever's in here. And remember, you can do that. If you punch run, nothing's going to happen. And then I'm going to type in, and you're going to type it. Now, some people are going to try to copy it and paste it. It won't work. Well, you know what? Let me show you it doesn't work. So I'm gonna grab all of this, Control C, Control V, looks good. Um, then I have to tell the computer to print it, and I tell it to print the variable, this first one. So I'm gonna double click that one, Control C, put it right there, and Control V, and close it up. Now, if I punch run, it could ignore these two things because it'll still have values, but I'm not asking you to print it. But the problem is that for some reason, I'm not 100% sure why, that's telling me that something's wrong with this code. So what I did to fix it was I erased all that stuff, and then I put equals, And then, oh, see, it doesn't look like it fixed it this time either. Hold on. Let me see. Click. Let me see. If it didn't come up right away, then something must have gone wrong. Yep. So the best thing to do is just probably type everything out and then punch run and you know, screenshot it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it just for a second. Let me type this stuff in so you won't be sitting there watching me do it. Okay, I went and go ahead and went and typed everything in. And if you notice, I kept the variables according to what I did. And of course, if I hit run, it should still just say Winslow when all three Winslows coming down. The one thing that does concern me is sometimes when you run the program, you notice how this is green, but sometimes it turns blue. So I'm not sure why it's green right now, but it did work, so I guess it's okay. And to finish out the thing, I go Control Shift, the button above the six, and I copy it to the clipboard, and then I paste it, and then I'm done with that one. Now we only got 6, 7, 8, 9 to go. Um, I'm not gonna. I'll go ahead and finish the video out, but I just want to make sure you understand. Okay, we're done with this, and we're done with this, and this is our main page. We just talked about the snake case variable, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit next because there's nothing underneath it. And now we're dealing with many variables, multivariable or multi-values. Many values, like Python allows us to assign values to multiple variables at one time. So if you notice on this one right here, there's a multivariable, multivariables and multi values. Now you got to understand something. This is not technically a list. I know that it looks like a list, and I guess you can call it a list. But in programming, we have something called a list. I don't know if I can pull it up or not, but if you notice right here when I'm scrolling down, there's a thing called a list, and so that actually is a programming thing. So we got to be real careful when when we explain something to say that that's a list because it's technically a list, but it's not a coding list. So, anyways, so we're on this right here. It says we're going to make some coding changes. We're going to change the fruit names to our three favorite fruits. So I'm going to go ahead and click try it yourself. And then I'm going to change, like, say, oranges or orange to pears. Bananas, I'm going to change to grapes. And last but not least, cherries to strawberries. And then I'll punch run to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And there it is. It changed the list with quotation marks. Um, and now I'm gonna do Shift Control button above the six. Grab this thing like this real quick, bang, and then copy and to the clipboard. Let me see where it was. It was right here. So I'm on number 6. So Control V, and now I'm dealing with number 7. Remember, close this out, go back to the original, and now we're looking for multiple values for multiple variables for one value. Now I'm not 100% sure what we're going to use this for yet, but when I was looking at it, I said, yeah, this is something y'all need to know. You need to understand that you can do multiple variables and have one value that it equals. So I'm going to go ahead and go to try it yourself, and I'm going to change orange to our name or my name and punch run just to make sure it works. And this should finish this thing, but the main part to remember is I can make an x, a y, and a z all equal to the same value. And in the same idea, I can make an x, a y, and a z equal to 2 or 3. So just keep that in mind. So Control Shift button above the 6, screenshot it, copy to clipboard right here below this piece right here. And you got to notice the pattern because this is going to be the same pattern I'm going to try to work on every day. And it might be different stuff, but it's the same idea. So I've taken care of this one. I'm on number 8 now. So I scroll down. It says output variables. It says unpacking collection. Well, I guess I'm not working on that one. So I'm going to scroll down a little more because it says right here learn more about unpacking in our unpacking, I can't say that word, but chapter. So the deal is that we'll talk about that later, and by then I should know how to pronounce this word. So I'm going to punch next. Then I'm going to Python output variables, which that's output variables. And it says right here, the Python print statement is often used to output variables. To combine both text and a variable, Python uses the plus character. So so basically what it is you have to we're going to combine these two things together. But where it says awesome, you're going to put your name in it, and where it says Python is Python is with the space, you're going to put my name is. Um, I think I made a mistake on this one. But let me check as soon as I do this because I know I made a mistake somewhere. No, not on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an X. I'm going to put my name. Then I'm going to put my name is. Well, actually, I got to take that capital N out and put a lowercase. And now the computer is going to read this together. Now you got to understand though, you cannot put a number in here. So like if you say my name is this, it won't combine. I'm not sure if later on they won't show us how to do it. I'm pretty sure they will. But if I punch run, I should see my name is Winslow. Yep, there it is. And that takes care of number 8. So shift control button above the 6, grab it like this, copy to the clipboard, come over here. Now we're almost finished, so just be patient. Remember, you can pause this video at any time, and then close this out. And let's see, let's scroll down a little bit. Number 9 says code change. I think this is the one I messed up on. So this one is Python is and awesome. So let's check that out. So just try it yourself. It says code change. X Python is, we're going to change this to my name is. My name is. And then we're going to change awesome. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how that got there. Awesome to your name. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, put in Winslow. Now, if you notice the equation, basically, and I'll make some spaces here so you can see it better. X equals Z plus Y. So you can combine your strings together, basically by telling it add X and Y together and then come up with Z. And then it says print Z out. So it only prints the value that Z has, which is both of those put together. So shift control button above the 6, copy to clipboard, go over here, control V, almost here, almost finished. Finally, there are 2 ways to use a variable, global and local. And I'm going to go ahead and expand this out so you can see it a little bit better. Global means that we can use any legal code can be used can use the variable value. In other words, this can X can always equal awesome as long as it's outside of a loop or a function. But a local value means that it's inside of a function or loop. So if we run this, and we're about to go back and run it, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this to the side and close this out and scroll down. Oh, it's not there. It's not there. So I guess it must be on next. Let's go to next. Global value variables. There you go. So I'm going to go down here. This doesn't really match this one, so I'm going to the next one. So go down here. Oh yeah, there it is. So as long as you use it inside a function, it'll keep whatever that is inside the function. But once you use it on the outside, it keeps the value outside. I'll come up with better examples as we do more coding. So I'm going to punch this, and I'm not going to make any code changes. I'm just going to run it just to make sure what it looks like. So I understand that the very first thing it did was it assigned a value. It came down here and it says my function. It said x equals fantastic. It says print Python is fantastic, and it did that right here. Then it jumped out of here, and I guess I'm not sure what this is yet, but I think it's telling the computer to execute this function. I think this is definition, I guess. I'm not 100% sure yet, so don't quote me on that one. But I do know it's telling you to print this out first, then go here and print. Python is awesome, and it did that. So all you need to do is take a screenshot of that, which is basically the same thing. We're just getting the habit of screenshotting. Control V. You are finished with the activity, and all you got to do is turn it in. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.